Email todaysor@rte.ie.
Mary Louise O'Donnell, good morning
Good
to
morning,
you. Lovely
good morning.
to see you again.
Yes.
You've been to the Christmas fair. I suppose, now that it's December, we're kind of full on about preparing for Christmas and the like.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of people think the toy show is the beginning of Christmas, but for a lot, the National Craft and Design Fair in the RDS from the 2nd to the 6th of December is their start of Christmas, because you can get everything from the unique artisan small present to the very big present. There's something there for everybody.
Tell me about the unusual bear.
Well, yes, his name is Hamilton Bear and he's on stand 22 and he's made by Carolyn Barron and she makes it in Pier Street. But what I loved about him is that he has a huge big face, he has button eyes, he's big paws and he's a rather large bottom, rather like myself.
And is there a bit of recycling going on here as well?
No, but she takes all kinds of tweeds and all kinds of colours and all kinds of fabrics. So if you bring a bit your coat or your shirt or your tie or your denim trousers or your jumpers,
you can get it personalised.
You can get a personalised bear. But it's really tweed and wool based. So when you look at him, he looks like a kind of a bear who'd have a gun and would be going out shooting duck. Or he looks like a bear who would probably having a few drinks, before dinner. He can look like a child's bear, or he can look like... It's very interesting because some people brought, cloth and wool to give memories of an aunt or memories of a child or memories of, a family.
And now,
and you can create that
something
bear.
else that has lots of memories for people. And again, there's an element of recycling here. A woman finding a new use for old china.
Oh, I think it was marvellous. It's called Forgotten China. Julie Swan from Sandyford. And she's in stand 38. And she takes vintage china from charity shops and discarded skips and houses and clear-outs, old cups and plates and saucers. And she makes tea and saucer candles. She takes old royal tar and Arklow pottery and she makes cracked, we'll say china and makes it into shapes and makes it into pendants. So you can look at your great aunt or your grandmother's teacup, which might have broken, and she'll take a piece and waft it into a pendant or make a teapot lampstand or, as I say, a cup and saucer light. And I just thought that was a beautiful idea to take, because the shape and the design and the beautiful floral designs in some of these old china is of itself, beautiful to look at, and it also has the feel of china, and she had them on long chains. Oh, they were magnificent. And of course, if you look up in the sky, the next thing you see a cup and saucer, and it's a light. It's a perfect present.
Give me a small idea of price. Now, we don't need prices and everything, but just to,
Well, no, the prices range from about, €30, the bears around 70 to, and you can go right up to 120, but if you're €50 or down, you will get a good...
No, you wouldn't be spending €50 on artisan soap, or would you be?
You would if you wanted to smell good for Christmas. And you wanted to lure the men or the women or both, whoever you wanted to lure. Mianra, it's artisan soaps. Oh, and she's Hanja, she's from Hungary. Mianra, Mianra. And she has cherry blossoms and amber and plum and ray. And we were smelling, and she's them in boxes, and they're beautifully kind of designed, and they look like open roses. And she said she gets emails from women saying the men are buying these soaps and they're hiding them. And I said, why are they hiding them? To smell beautifully. She's not at all, she says, it's the lather for shaving because the soaps don't go mushy. I'm not too sure about that. But the soaps have that look of, if you were to cut into rock and you have all these different colours of the different shapes of the different elements in the rock, that's all running through the soaps. So they're beautiful to look at and beautifully boxed. And they start at around €6 and then you could up to €20. So they're a lovely present.
Now, the egg women.
Now, that was my favourite. The egg woman is from Liz Spillane and Oliver O'Donovan. And they're based in south of Kenmare, and it's called Inwood, and it's called Egg Money. And the reason it's called that is that Liz took duck eggs and hen eggs and cleaned them out and washed them, sterilised them, and then took them and created a picture with 2 eggs or 3 eggs or 8 eggs or 24 eggs in shapes. It is absolutely beautiful, because when you look at it, you are looking at the egg. You don't see where it has been cracked to the back or she's brought it together. You have that buttermilk look and that misty grey look and that light brown look of the eggs. And you are also looking at your past. You're looking at what you know about the eggmen, because sometimes that was the only place you got the money. You're also looking at a sphere and a rounded look, and it's so delicate, and the whole world of something alive is at your eye, and he has made the boxes for them. They both, Liz Spillane and Oliver O'Donovan, are stunning to look at. I think they're maybe in their late 40s, won't mind me saying this, early 50s, and they look like Viking lovers at the stand. And he's also created ash and beech cake stands. Now, you always think of cake stands in relation to China, but these are beautiful egg and beech cake stands and jewellery boxes made of the antlers. And also, she is an artist and a designer and a textile artist, and she has knitted eggs in the most magnificent knit patterns, created them and put them into frames.
Given where you come from, or at least where you've been, you wouldn't forgive me if I didn't give a mention, or you didn't get a chance to mention, Foxford Woolen Mills.
Oh, well, look. There is a rug, a Michael Collins rug, and of course, being a pretend independent, but a real, coming from Foxford, and I'm very steeped in that whole area of Foxford Woolen Mills, and of course, probably of the Michael Collins, because Michael Collins was killed in Bale-na-Blah, as we know, in 1922. And it was said that there was an Foxford rug in the back of the car that he had got a present of earlier, and that when he went to Shanakeel Hospital in Cork, he was wrapped in this rug. Well, Foxford Woolen Mills have reproduced the rug, and it is a thick, magnificent rug, the kind of rugs we remember when we were children. And it is dark army green, muted gold and white. And it is beautiful, because it has an army look, and yet it has a muted flag look of Ireland, and yet it has the plaid. It is seriously beautiful, and I think somebody, even if you don't want to buy it, go and have a look on the Foxford Woolen Mills stand.
Right.
I think, Sean, being in the RDS, you're surrounded by... It's fantastic to be surrounded by the craftsmen and the artists and the manufacturers and the growers and the converters. And there's when you walk into the hall and you have all of these small businesses, and all 95% of which are Irish, and all trying to bring something of their imagination and creativity and what they have made and what they have grown. Before you go into the food hall, you are around the effort and the commitment and the quality of all of these great manufacturers.
Before we get, and it's not only in Dublin, because Anne Casson had a wonderful nationwide last night on the craft fair in Cork, in the City Hall there. But before we get to the food hall, there's some lovely stuff in Willow, I gather, as well.
Oh, marvellous. And Ireland is a great place to grow willow. Seamus Heaney used to write about it. My shed is full of long green willow shoots, where he used to wrote quite about basket making. But these are from Burna Fia Studio, wicker baskets, Heine Kakal and Klaus Hartmann, who've been here for 20 years. Hand-woven woolen baskets, living willow, garden structures, willow tunnels, willow fences, willow shapes. And the baskets had such shape that Red Riding Hood, she would have been kind of not at the races with these baskets they were, and some of them had handles made of willow and handles made of leather, and they were just beautifully presented. And it's a stand that people should visit. Have a look at Burna Fia Studio wicker baskets, because you'd wonder, why the hell did we bother creating plastic in Ireland when you have these? And they're so sturdy, and you can put flowers in them, and you can put decorations in them and fruit in them, and they look beautiful anywhere.
Now, tell me about Roisin Duffy, not to be confused with our colleague in the newsroom who makes wonderful lemon drizzle cake, but this Roisin Duffy makes cards. Roisin Duffy cards.
Roisin Duffy cards. I thought that was absolutely wonderful. She's an artist and poet, and she makes these cards, and the cards have different people on them. For example, she can make a card for your auntie, and she can make a card for your brother and sister. And I picked up a card for the aunties, and she designs the card, and it's called Read It, Send It, Frame It and Keep It. And the poem is Aunties. The aunties keep sweeties in the bottom of their handbags and hankies in their cardigan sleeves. They may look look frail, but they're sharp as nails. They mutter and gossip and moan. The aunties knit jumpers, say the rosary at funerals, and always know a cure for the flu. They're the sweetest old ladies who bet on the races and drink dry sherry at noon. And that's in her
delightful.
cards. It's delightful. So you can go up to her stand, she's upstairs, and find one of a card for an aunt or a grandmother or a mother. There's also from Donegal, Orwell and Brown. They have Donegal tweed bow ties, pocket squares, diaries, cufflinks, notebooks and maps of Ireland, all in tweed. And I forgot to tell you about Hamilton Bear. All the tweed comes from McNutt's in Downings. All the tweed she uses.
I have a very nice McNutt's rug actually down at home at the moment. But anyway, take us into the food hall, Mary Louise.
The food hall. Oh, the food. Take you into the food hall. Sure, I went into the food hall with the honey and the chocolate and the preserves and the oils and the cordials and the cheeses and the meats. And of course, being how slim and svelte I am, I'm going back tomorrow. We had the greatest plum pudding. Now I'm a plum pudding expert. So the plum pudding that won the prize is Granny Graham's Christmas plum pudding from Kilkeel. Find Ian Shannon and Lois Shannon from Kilkeel.
Now, is this your prize or was there another prize down there?
No, this is my prize.
Okay,
this is my
fine.
prize. It
Hard
is,
woman to please, go on.
Oh, it is just stunning. It is a holiday of Christmas in your mouth. It just lingers on your mouth, all the ingredients. There is so that's Granny's Graham's Christmas plum pudding.
I don't mean to rush you, but
all right.
Is it true there's a man down there with 22 different varieties of vinegar?
And his name is Fintan Gogarty, and he's from Lacken in Ballina, County Mayo, and he's 22 vinegars of seaweed and wild berries and organic berries and blackberry and fig and raspberry, and you can put them on meats and salads and breads, and he looks like a young Vincent Brown. But leaving that aside,
I think he might have been here a few weeks ago.
Was he? Well, dipping the vinegars was like dipping into iced berries, figs and wild mountain thyme.
Okay, I'll give
Roscommon chocolate, McLaughlin's Craft Butchers from Ballyfermot, and 100 other kind of sweets and chocolates and biscuits. The Scullery in Nina, the Lismore Food Company, who have as their barcode the skyline of Lismore and their biscuits, and Goatsbridge trout pate. You cannot but be encased in smells and tastes of wonder.
It's open until Sunday.
Until Sunday.
Do you have to pay to get in?
Yes, £10. It is the best £10 you'll ever spend. It's open till 10 o'clock tonight and until 7 o'clock Saturday and Sunday.
Mary Louise,
outstanding.
Thank you for that. Mary Louise O'Donnell, independent member of Shannon and one of the Taoiseach's 11 nominees. Thank you for that report. That fair open till Sunday. We'll have news after these.
Today with Sean O'Rourke on RTE Radio 1.